You ain't so tough with that bad boy talk.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy talk. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought.
Yeah, what's happening, peeps? How's it going? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan, and welcome back to Chelsea News. It's a Chelsea News video. Today, I'm apologising for maybe an incorrect perception of Enzo Fernandez in the stats that's come up recently. Andre Santos captaining Strasbourg, absolutely insane form. Maybe some more regrettable stuff on Kean D Hall. It's probably the silliest signing that we've made recently, and he's not necessarily even a bad player. And yes, the Alexander Isak stories are back. And of course, timely, Nico Jackson's doing incredibly well as Chelsea's centre forward. So yeah, tough. We're going to get into all of it today. So do strap yourselves in, pour yourselves a drink, get comfortable, and also take one moment and listen to this. A big thank you to my sponsor Surfshark for sponsoring this video. My favorite VPN virtual private network in the world is my partner Surfshark. Now you need a virtual private network, guys. Let's just call it a VPN because it offers so much in the modern internet digital age. It's very important. A VPN moves your internet's location from one place to somewhere else where you choose, and Surfshark has a massive list of servers in different locations for you to do that. There's an unbeatable, superb price on it at the moment because it's a Black Friday promotion. Guys, there's so much a VPN can do for you. First of all, it keeps you safe because it's moving your identity, essentially your location elsewhere. Those naughty data pirates won't know where you are or how to get you. And when I speak about my partner Surfshark, I speak about another massive thing, which is unlocking media. So many times on the internet, people are unable to watch certain videos because they don't live in the appropriate region for said piece of media. Use Surfshark, jump over to that region, country, place, and then the video is unlocked. But it's not about just one piece of content, one video, whole libraries. And that's why I like to reference the fact how I use Surfshark on Netflix. I like to jump over from the UK, which is of course where I'm from, over to the USA, and suddenly I have all the American library of Netflix available to me after the click of a button. The Black Friday offer has started and you can utilize this wonderful deal, guys. Go to surfshark.com/football. That's right, surfshark.com/football for firstly, an unbeatable price, and secondly, an additional 4 months free when you sign up at surfshark.com/football. Go get that VPN, click the link in the top of the description, check it out now. Alright then, let's get into it. Yes, alright, so first of all, I do want to speak about Enzo Fernandez. Of course, he was excellent in our win away at Leicester, being reintroduced back into the side next to his old partner, his old mate, Moises Caicedo. Lavia, no, not a good day out for him, of course, he was on the bench. Horses for courses, that's what we've been told. It's the kind of game that Enzo would do better in there as things stand, and what the Chelsea coach is insinuating or inferring is that there'll be games where Lavia and Caicedo make more sense. And they have looked good together, so let's not just, get rid of that and be silly here. But a little reminder that Enzo Fernandez is good. Now, of course, I've been praising his passing, his sort of positives, his positive traits in his profile recently about, playing forwards and what an important player he is for Argentina and how he has got star quality. But we've spoken about, does he fit? One thing I didn't notice that has since come up around social media is he outran everyone on the pitch. Now, I don't think of Enzo, maybe he's not fast. He doesn't need to be fast in his position anyway. But I don't think of him as fast. I don't think of him as like an amazing tackler, like tracking back and tackling. And if you play sort of central defensive midfield or even CM, you got to be really, really capable at tackling. They were my biggest concerns of Enzo. And I guess I had the incorrect perception of, oh yeah, this guy just doesn't work hard or doesn't, I'd never said it publicly on the channel, but I wonder if I had that in thought in my head. And he outran absolutely everyone on the day, wore the captain's armband, and that did him a real great deal of good. Of course, Leicester didn't offer much, and they've since sacked their manager since we beat them at their ground there. And Enzo Fernandez has put in an amazing performance before against high quality opposition. He did it against Liverpool, possibly at Anfield as well. Maybe the first game of last season? I can't remember exactly when it was. Point being, He has got it in him. So a public apology from me. You know, I'm still don't necessarily think he's fast or a particularly good tackler, but I know he's very talented. And when you put in that kind of work rate when you're wearing the captain's armband, respect, Capitano. Andre Santos. So, of course, Strasbourg is the Chelsea sister company owned by Blue Co, which is the Clear Lake Capital gang. Did they win against Nice? I'm just going to check quickly. No, they lost. They went ahead in the 19th minute, and they actually lost for an own goal in the 62nd after Nice equalised away. That would have been a great win. Well, they're doing all right, Strasbourg. I think they're mid-table. Yeah, they're 11th, slap bang. They're in poor form, I'm saying that. But one player who's been absolutely magnificent for them is Chelsea loanee Andre Santos, who was been given the captain's armband on the day, and manager Liam Rosenior. Is it Rosenior? Rosenior. It sounds French, even though I don't think he is French. He certainly doesn't speak French. His translation's out of there. He played in England, didn't he? He spoke about making Andre captain. He said this: he was great. He's constantly shows his professionalism every day in his work. He constantly wants to improve and constantly trains at 100%. Speaking of Enzo Fernandez and compatibility in midfielders, we definitely could have used Andre Santos this season. I'm not saying we should have kept him because it looks like another great experience. 18 months 18 months total in Strasbourg. That would be really good for him. But, you know, even if the B, he could have been an absolute nailed-on starter in the B team and played every week for Chelsea, which is probably play similar minutes that he would have done for Strasbourg. He would have played as a really important player in the Conference League and the Cups, and I think he would have massively done well here. But look, I'm not saying it's a mistake to not send him to Strasbourg. He's clearly cooking out there, you know, given responsibility to the captain's armband. So that's good. That is generally good news for us, and we have to be pleased that's going well. But I'm very, very excited. And there's some people, true believers of Andre Santos, that believe he will be a Chelsea starter, maybe next to like Caicedo, and you know, then you don't have a Lavia or Fernandez starting, which would be mental because that's like 165 million quid players drops. But regardless, he could be a really, really important player to the Chelsea team, and hopefully, I mean, do you remember when we signed him, he was going to be immediately dropped as an 18-year-old who's come from the Brazilian league. He was going to be immediately dropped into Graham Potter's Chelsea team in January, but he had visa issues, so he went back and obviously he captained the U20 Brazil team to a championship afterwards and was the top scorer, and that helped his visa problem somehow. I don't know how, working, whatever, it's confusing. But the belief at Chelsea is immense in Andre Santos, so see what happens there. All right, man. Look, there's an article on Team Talk here. There's a couple of articles I'm going to cite on Team Talk. One about Kean and Dewsbury Hill, mainly about Alexander Isak, because this is the sort of big story. He's the superstar striker. Imagine having your country having him and Victor Gyökeres up front. That is not fair. Look, Kean and Dewsbury Hill, he joined Chelsea for 30 million quid. In the summer, and he is not playing. He got some token minutes against Leicester. That was very much because obviously Enzo Maresca likes him. He was, let's remember, last season he was like Cole Palmer in Leicester, like, you know, in terms of goals and assists, and you know, they won the title and he was their guy. Like, everything went through him attack wise, and he's gone from that, thinking probably coming to Chelsea, wow, Cole Palmer's good, isn't he? I'll probably be the backup for him. Oh, what they've signed Joao Felix and he's playing there. Oh, what? You know, this player. And it's been tough for him, right? It's been tough. So he got this token minutes at the King Power Stadium. He got a nice reception from the home fans. It was a nice moment. And look, he, by all accounts, Kean Dewsbury Hill is a top guy. He's a top guy. You got people like Emmanuel Petit saying Kean Dewsbury Hill looks like the new Danny Drinkwater at Chelsea. English central midfielders that have come from Leicester for significant fee and look like they're not going to get into the side. Same age as well, I think. Didn't we sign Danny Drinkwater? He must have been 26, 27 when we signed Drinkwater. Oh, yes. Look, we're only a few months in. It's not over, right? It's It's not over for Drinkwater. Let's be honest. Drinkwater, Jesus, I'm doing it now. Dewsbury Hall, it's not over for him. And he is a good footballer, by the way. Like, he is good. He got really, had a career season last season. Lots of productivity. He's shown in the Premier League he can operate. He's shown he knows how to play under Maresca and do what Maresca asks of him. But he is not as good as the attacking midfielders alternatives at Chelsea, and he is not as good as the sort of deeper midfielders at Chelsea, and that leaves him in a position where he's not even been starting in the B team, which actually, if you deep it, is friggin' wild, bro, because the biggest issue with the midweek B team, and I know Maresca hates the concept of the B team. He says there's one team and players go in and out. It is the B team, and you know what I'm talking about when I say it. The one big issue with it at times is the lack of functionality or fluidity, or, there's an obvious lack of understanding. People thought Dewsbury Hall would start for Chelsea this season in the Prem to join up all the understanding for Maresca ball. He's been nowhere near the first team, and he's not even in the B team to make that tick as well. So tick. So that is really very, very, very disappointed. Look, he came to Chelsea. I understand why. I know like people have criticised the move, saying you got to be careful about your career choices. But I understand why, because Chelsea paid a significant fee for him, so that is an intent. He's like, okay, they're paying 30 million quid for me. Like, I'm gonna do something for 30 million quid. That's a show of intent, and the manager knows me. It's not like Danny Drinkwater when he came to Chelsea as like an afterthought. I think Conte wanted the Leicester midfield when he came to Chelsea, and they were like, you can't take both their midfielders. He's like, all right, I'll take Kante first. I'm like, all right, mate. And then he goes Danny Drinkwater later on, do you know what I mean? Which was an absolute failure. Yeah, Drinkwater should have looked at that and thought, what am I doing here? Do you know what I mean? Because that season, yes, we lost Matic, but we signed Bakayoko. We had Cesc Fabregas still. We had Kante still. He should have known he's getting nowhere near into that midfield. Whereas it's a bit different with Dewsbury Hall because Chelsea aren't Premier League champions. Chelsea don't have N'Golo Kante and Cesc Fabregas in midfield. We really didn't know how good we had it, did we? We really didn't know how good we had it. You look at those players now in their prime, Costa, like Hazard, even like Willian and Pedro, which I remember Joe Tweedy called Wedro when we thought they just weren't good enough. But Pedro Rodriguez was sick. Even Willian was such an important contributor. They caught so much stick. And then, of course, all across the board. Anyway, I digress. I don't want to get too nostalgic here. Dewsbury Hall, I find it impossible to see how it works out at the moment. Let me know what you think, and what do we just sell him in the summer with a 40% loss or something like that? There are teams apparently that are interested in him that he'll probably do very good for, by the way, top half Premier League teams. He's good. He's in his prime. He's entering his prime, and he's good. But is he good for Chelsea? I think he's not good enough to start for Chelsea, and actually he blocks certain players that need the developmental minutes, so he's right in that difficult slot. Yeah. All right, then. So we are going to talk a little bit about Team Talk. Can I show you the article? I suppose I can if I click on this button. Here we go. Newcastle named their price for Alexander Isak as Chelsea join Arsenal in race for Sublime striker. Sublime, one of my favourite bands growing up. Down in Mississippi where the sun beats down from the sky. Does anyone remember Sublime? Show my age there. Bro, let's read this. Chelsea have expressed an interest. We love expressing an interest in signing Newcastle United star Alexander Isak amid Arsenal's pursuit of the striker. Sources have revealed to Team Talk. The 25-year-old is considered to be one of the best forwards in the Premier League on his day, and we understand that he has doubts over his future at St James's Park. Isak wants to play for a club that consistently plays in the Champions League and challenges for trophies, and he's good enough for that, trust me. And he's concerned that the Magpies may not achieve that as soon as he first thought. You know, Saudis come in, they buy the club, you think, oh, the good times are coming. PSG, Man City settings, we're going to be all right. Apparently not. Newcastle, meanwhile, are keen to offer Isak a lucrative new contract to stave off interest in his signature, but the Swedish international is currently reluctant to sign. Ooh, drama. Team Talk can reveal, with their sources, Chelsea have now made inquiries about Isak's potential availability as Enzo Maresca looks to bring a new world-class striker to Chelsea. Sources say Newcastle would negotiate a potential transfer, but only for a monster offer, with Eddie Howe's side demanding the bidding starts at a mammoth £115 million. I'm going to give you my thoughts on this in a moment. This would give Newcastle the funds to bring in a suitable replacement for Isak, and their recruitment chiefs have, I bet they have, they've already shortlisted sporting goal machine Victor Gyökeres as a potential option. One Swedish striker for another. Mate, Victor Gyökeres is going to... I mean, we're speaking about Arsenal. So Arsenal and Chelsea could battle for Isak. Newcastle hold all the power in negotiations over Isak, because even if he doesn't sign a new deal, his contract goes till 2028. Yeah, 3 years left in the summer. A bid of 115 million would get the attention for Newcastle, but it by no means guarantees he will leave. That is because that's the record fee. That's the Moises Caicedo fee, isn't it? Because it was Enzo Fernandez for 105 million that beat Jack Grealish. Excuse me. And then of course Liverpool had 111 million agreed for Caicedo, but we had to pay a few more million to get it over the line. And excuse me. And so they'd won a record fee. I guess like if you get anyone for a record, I mean, it seems silly and it feels like they're in dreamland, but I'm trying to think like, because strikers are in demand. But they're in demand, but the Gyökeres will be much less than that. And many Chelsea fans, if you said who would you rather have, Victor Gyökeres or Isak, many would say Victor Gyökeres, but many would say Alexander Isak as well, because he's been doing it in the Prem. Like, he's sick, and he's obviously sick in the Premier League. Like, you know, it's all very well being excellent for Sporting and then seeing if you can do it in the Premier League, because, you know, Ruben Amorim drew to Ipswich. I know he's only got here, but do you know what I mean? It's such a different beast, Premier League football. You just don't know, bro. You don't know. As previously reported, Arsenal have made Isak their dream target to strengthen their attacking ranks. The Gunners and Chelsea will be the two teams to keep an eye on. The Blues do have alternative, of course. We're still keeping close tabs on Victor Osimhen of Napoli, which we were very, very close to getting over the line, remember. Chelsea pushed to sign Osimhen in the end. We know that. He went to Galatasaray. Osimhen has a £62 million release clause in his contract with Napoli. 62 million quid. That's like, you know, half price, just over half price of what Isak would cost. Which is great. You know, again, you know, that's great. So Chelsea around at the Blues want Barca duo. And of course, there's more here. Chelsea are looking at Araujo and Jules Koundé. We'll leave that for another time. Don't want to go back to Jules Koundé. All right. Well, we might need to sign Jules Koundé if this Reece James situation keeps going. Maybe that's something we will pick up in the future. Probably will be. Right, let's talk about the strikers then. I'm not going to repeat myself too much, but I have said recently that as much as I love Nico Jackson, and I do very much love Nico Jackson, I have nothing against us signing a slightly older world-class striker. And then, you know, Nico can rotate in and out. He could play together with him. What else? We could, like, you know, have an actual two-numbered, like, proper number 9 profiles. Isak is friggin' awesome, bro. Like, he is sick. Out of Arsenal and out of Chelsea and Arsenal, Arsenal need a striker much, much more. They just simply do not have a centre forward. Havertz isn't a striker. He can do all right down the middle sometimes, but he's not a striker. You know, they sold Nketiah. Gabriel Jesus plays out wide these days. They just don't have a centre forward. They desperately need one. So they need him much more. They should splash the cash on him. You know, if they're willing to spend over 100 million on 105 million on Declan Rice, there's a player I forgot that cost over 100 million, then they should do it for a centre forward. That's what they should do. They need it more than Chelsea, because we've got we've got Nico Jackson who's doing very well. But at the moment, for me personally, you know, as much as Mark Hughes, great fun, that youngster, he does need a La Liga loan, doesn't he? He needs to go to Sevilla or something for a season. As much as I love him and I love Nkunku, Jackson's the only obvious striker centre forward for the system. And it's not enough. You know, if we want to be in the Champions League, have 2 elite options. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm totally down with that. I'd love Isak. I genuinely would. I mean, you know, hopefully he'd fit into the wage structure. Should do a little bit easier than Osimhen would, even though we nearly got there with Osimhen. Look, if we could sign Gyökeres, Isak or Osimhen, then we are laughing. And that isn't... I know loads of you guys have a go at me in the comments, but Jackson's sick. He is sick. But then, like, we need 2 good strikers. 2 good centre-forward strikers. This is Chelsea. We've always had that. You know, we've often had that. And who knows? If Jackson just keeps being a sickhead, then, you know, Isak can ride the bench and play midweek in Champions League games. Touch wood, we in Champions League. I just think it's important we get there. Because it also, again... I know it's been for a couple of seasons now, but there's 5 substitutions in each game. It will always be a striker. The bench striker will always get on in Premier League games, and then it will start in midweek. So it's enough fun to go round. All right, gang. Let me know what you think. A bit of a longer one today. Please do leave your comments down in the comment section below. Do go check out Surfshark. Great offer. Click the link in the top of the description. I'll try and pin a comment too. And I hope to see you back here soon. Mwah! Peace.